Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Blu Ray Hunter. I'm the Blu Ray Hunter, Jonathan Moody, and we've got a fun one. It's a review that I've been excited to do. I've been excited to watch. I watched it today for the first time. This is my first time watch. Obviously, welcome to First Time Watch Fridays. Obviously, to introduce the show. It happens. So welcome to First Time Watch Fridays. It's a new show that I'm going to be doing where I'm going to be reviewing films for the first time that I've ever seen. Things either they might be new, they might be old, they might be in between. It doesn't matter. This is First Time Watch Fridays. There'll be other ones where I review other movies and whatnot, but this is the First Time Watch Friday episode. So first up, first movie that we're gonna do on this is The Northman. So as hopefully you can, no, I hate it when it does that, but you can see that. Um, so if you haven't seen The Northman yet, I highly recommend it. It is probably high on my list of favorite movies. If you watched uh my my haul video that I did. I said everything all at once, everything everywhere all at once. It's kind of a hard thing to say sometimes, but that movie was like my one of my top. This is up there at the top of the year. The those two movies don't win awards for Oscar, then there's something wrong with the Oscars because those two are two of the most amazing movies. Visually stunning, beautiful. Got it for Best Buy for $10 on their Black Friday. Very happy I did. Well worth it. So with that being said, uh, I really enjoyed this movie. It was one of those films where, I first of all, I'm not familiar with Norse mythology much. So I would be butchering anybody's name or what this movie is about. But basically, it's about this young Viking prince whose father is murdered right in front of him, and he escapes. Well, he's not just murdered in front of him. His brother or his father's his uncle, his father's brother murders him, and then comes after the kid. Then one of the guys said, "Oh yeah, we killed him. We drowned him in the lake or something." And he was not drowned. He did not die. Maybe they thought it was another kid. Maybe they were just embarrassed. I don't know what it was, but they got it wrong. So the new king, because the uncle took over the throne, claimed and they were pillaging and probably raping and doing all these things, taking and killing and murdering all these people and other things. So anyway, so the kid vows vengeance on his uncle and wants to save his mother from his uncle and basically avenge his father's death. Years later, I guess he's kind of forgotten about it or something because he seems to be like really into what he's doing. He ends up kind of he's has a new name to try to hide away from these guys, and he starts to 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 rekindle that feeling of vengeance, and then he goes on a spree and doesn't and starts kind of, as he says, he wants to torture his family, his uncle and everybody that he loves. And so there's one of my favorite scenes, and trust me, there will be spoilers. I can't really do a review like this without spoilers, and this has been enough time where if you haven't seen this yet and you're watching this review, um, I would say stop it now if you haven't seen it, and then go watch it and whatnot. But uh, there's a lot that goes on. This movie's in 2 hours and 16 minutes. There's a lot that goes on. I can't even get into all of it, and I'm not going to. We may review it for a longer episode for something at some point because it is such a great movie. It deserves to one day be on Film Freaks or something to that nature. Um, but basically, there's a great scene where he's kind of playing this game. Um, I don't know what it's. You know how like Harry Potter had Quidditch. This had like this weird game that felt like it was another game that you probably seen, like rugby or something, but it was different. They were allowed to like kill each other in the game. So, okay, that's definitely different than rugby. But basically it's a there's a scene where the son of uh of the uncle, which would be his nephew, or no, wait, I guess it would be his nephew, but it was his mom's kid because they had a kid together. So, I guess half brother. So half brother and a nephew at the same time. That's such a strange fucking thing. But anywho, so the nephew half brother tries to run off into the field to like win the game for them or something. And one of the guys like just knocks him down, and the hero runs off and beats the crap out of the guys, basically trying to save the kid's life and everything. And the kid didn't die. Um, and so they kind of reward this guy with like allowing him extra privileges and things because he's not just a slave now. He's like the slave that saved the son, of the prince, and named Gunnar. Remind me of Gunnar Hansen. So all of this stuff was happening, and the other son, who's this kind of asshole guy, starts noticing all the stuff that's going on, and he becomes a problem that gets dealt with. And there's some really cool stuff. Like it's all based on lore and it's all based on stuff. Like it would be really cool to one day do another review of this with Paul, who is a big, knows a lot of these things and is big in the history and the mythology and everything. But I'm not huge into that. Also, I'm not like I haven't really watched anything that Robert Eggers has done yet. I'm planning to watch The Witch for Film Freaks at some point, and probably for that A24 series. So probably a combination of both. So we're doing that, and then um, the Lighthouse. I want to watch too. Also A24. I want to watch that as well. I know he's got Nosferatu coming out, and so he's doing really well for himself. And this movie was just really cool. Like I thought it was a fun, movie. There was talks of like basically the movie was sort of uh butchered by the studio maybe. Like he wanted it longer. Maybe there's a director's cut out there. But all in all, I thought on 4K it looks amazing. The HDR, the I don't have Dolby Atmos, so I can't tell you what the sound was like, but I've heard it's okay. Um, but the visuals is really what does it. I mean, the darkness. This movie has a lot of dark scenes, and so in the wrong hands, it could come out bad. But they did a really great job with the 4K and making it look beautiful. Beautifully shot. Just everything in this movie was fantastic. And I didn't mention Anya Taylor-Joy, who I absolutely love. She's right behind me. Um, and Nicole Kidman, Alexander Skarsgård, who I absolutely loved him in this. I just loved everybody. I don't know the guy, the uncle's name, but I know Ethan Hawke played the king, which I didn't even recognize him. Did such a great, he had a voice. Like, I not known he was in it, I would have just like, oh, that guy's really good. Who is that guy? And, oh God, it's Ethan Hawke. Crazy. Um, But yeah, he's been doing interesting work lately, like being at Moon Knight and then this. So Ethan's just kind of continuing to do what he loves to do. Um, all in all, it was a very well done movie. Uh, and I would watch this again and again. You know what? I think it's one of those movies I can't watch just once because there's so many things. It's so long. There's so much stuff that happens in the movie, and it's a visually scope, like it's wide. It's definitely made for wide televisions because there's just so much that like fills the wide television screen with stuff that's going on. It's so wonderful. I loved it. I had a blast. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend watching it. If you haven't seen it and you just listened to my review, I don't think I really spoiled too much. I talked about one scene that I thought was great, but it doesn't really spoil the movie. I don't think you can be spoiled unless like you just don't want to see it, Like that's the only way you could be spoiled in this movie because you have to see it. You have to watch it. You have to get engulfed into it. There's a lot of magical stuff, seers and uh he witches, and there's this amazing uh I guess it was statue, but he had a sword and he had to get the sword from the statues. He had to fight the statue in order to win. Get the sword. It was called Nightblade, I want to say, something like that. Um it was so great. I had such a fun time watching it. It's beautifully shot. And I hope to watch more Robert Eggers movies. Like I can't wait to watch The Witch. Originally I didn't want to because I thought I heard something like they use real witchcraft in the movie. Don't mind that. That's just whatever. That was I don't know. I think I was making an excuse not to watch it. And because I mean I don't know. I don't like jumping on these bandwagons for a lot of these movies, but now I'm on the A24 bandwagon and I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. So, but this is not A24, by the way. This is Universal. Do you know how I know it's Universal? Biggest pet peeve I have of Universal is that Universal has that stupid, annoying screensaver. Now, I get it. Like it needs to have a screensaver, but when that pops up, and it pops up quicker than it should, but when it pops up, you have to press like one button to get it back going, and I keep forgetting which button, so I press play and it doesn't work or something. So you have to, play around with it. It's just a pain in the butt. I don't like it. I wish, every time I see a Universal Blu-ray or 4K, I get really kind of annoyed. Um, but that's just me being picky. I guess. I mean, I would rather that it had a screensaver that saved the screen and didn't make the screen go, you know, didn't fuck up the screen. So that's what I'd wish anyway. So it's all good. This is a collector's edition. I don't think this is anything different than anything else you're gonna get on any of the other copies of this, but it's pretty cool. It's got like commentary with co-writer director Robert Eggers and deleted extended scene. So I'm wondering if how much of that if they got like an hour or two, longer. I doubt it. An ageless epic, The Face of Vikings, Amleth, that was his name. Amleth's Journey to Manhood, Shooting the Raid. All these things are little featurettes. Uh the game, I guess, it's called Netliker. I can't pronounce that. A Norse landscape, and that's in the feature commentary. So it's got a lot of stuff on the Blu-ray. I would highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. I think you'll like it. If you don't like it, um, talk to Universal. Um, talk to Robert Eggers. Tell him why you didn't like it. I can see some people thinking it's slow, and I'm very impatient. And I've been sort of watching these longer movies to get, to learn patience and to realized like some of these are actually, because they're longer, they're actually really, really good. Um, and I'm like thinking if I can watch like, 2.5 hour long Black Panther movie, I can watch this, and everything, especially at my house where I can pause if I need to. That's the thing. I like watching at the house so I can pause and go to the bathroom if I need to. Um, but yeah, so I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, go see it, check it out. If you have seen it, let me know what you think. Do you like it? Did you not like it? Was it one of your favorites of this year? What was your favorite? And maybe I'll do a video on my favorite films of this year and my least favorite films of this year. We'll see. All right, well, until then, I will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.